Welcome to my channel. I'm Psychic Medium Roberto. Today I'm going to be looking at the Summer Wells case. She was reportedly missing from the 15th of June 2021. Please feel free to engage by hitting the subscribe button and notification icon if you would like to be alerted to future uploads. Alright, let's get into it. Alright, and I'm recording this on the 30th of October, the same day that Summer's father was released from prison, Donald, and it's quite interesting that that would happen today when I planned to do this recording. I've been meditating on this again for about 2-3 days just to make sure I'm getting clarity. I must just say the first meditation that I did, I was picking up some major resistance. Even when I did some research, I could just feel there's a deceptive energy around this case, a very deceptive energy. And I've just been given an image of Summer's mom, who is Candace. Now if I look at Candace as well as Donald as well as Summer, now obviously my primary focal point is Summer Wells, but if I look at the two parents, I believe those two, and I know this might seem duh or da or whatever or obvious, but the secret lies between the two of them. So I feel Donald is the actual perpetrator behind this, and we'll get into whether he actually murdered her or gave her away, but I feel that Candace does know what happened, and of course she is keeping that secret in fear of her own life perhaps. And I do believe the key in this case is Candace Wells. So part of the reading is I will be looking for the evidence in this case. And again, I keep getting shown Candace as an image. So if we look at the time at which Summer was supposedly went missing, the 15th of June 2021, that day itself, if you look at the 15th of June 2021, the outcome of that day is quite an aggressive day, violent day, imbalance. There's abuse involved, there is deception involved. During the second meditation, I picked up that Don lost control on this day. Donald, like he's chasing after someone, moving furniture away to get to her. This could be Summer running away from her dad, but her dad was chasing after her, obviously being a large male, throwing things around trying to get to her, and Summer was obviously trying to hide, and I believe he grabbed her from behind the neck, and yeah, very aggressive. This was a very aggressive situation. Now the energy I'm getting around you is so if I'm trying to tap into Donald's energy at the time, and I'm almost feeling like, or it actually feels like, he's going to teach her a lesson, but he's also treating her like an animal, like a chicken, like you would throttle a chicken's neck. That's the feeling I'm getting. And I suspect, based on this image, everyone on that property would have been aware of this situation. So it was interesting, and I saw some information regarding this, that Candace and I believe her mother were on the property at the time. Quickly said no, they were further away from the house, planting or whatever the situation is. It's very convenient. In fact, when I saw that interview at the time of the interview, it felt like it was a lie. It was very convenient that she was several hundred yards away from the house, because that's where the incident happened. It happened inside the house, and yeah, you know, I'm not getting a good feeling about this, and I feel that the situation could have got out of hand, and I think the energy of the day just escalated things. The energy of the day, like I said, very deceptive, a lot of abuse, a lot of control, and ends in aggression. And that's exactly what I'm picking up around this case. Now, when I actually looked at this case probably about 6 months ago, maybe a little bit earlier, kind of the same time that I looked at the Harmony Montgomery case. And yeah, I've just been reminded, you know, that Harmony case, I knew that guy, the father was beating on her badly. Now we have a similar situation here, and I feel these cases are very similar in a sense that you've got these adult parents out of control murdering their own kids, or they seem to think that murdering kids or making them disappear is the solution to their problems. Now let's look at Summer. Who was Summer? I'm going to just tap into Summer's energy. And who is Summer? I mean, if you look at her, I would say she was very meticulous, and I know she was only 5 years old, but she was meticulous. She was all about family. She was about connection. She was about family. She was about her community, and also very independent type person. I would say she was a energizer bunny. She would tend to be quite hyper, loud possibly, but when she got on a good run, she would be loud, energetic, full of energy. And you know, some people don't like that kind of thing, and sometimes parents don't deal with that kind of energy. And I've just been reminded of, if you look at Madeleine McCain, you know, that situation still has been resolved, but it's the same situation. You got this kid that is kind of, I won't say out of control, but too much to handle for the parents. And I think on this day, going back to now Summer, a lot of aggression, a lot of violence on this day. Hey? A lot of aggression, a lot of violence. And if I look at Donald and I look at Summer as a combination, they were almost like peas in a pod. You know, there's always this thing that when parents have kids, that if it's more than one kid, you know, one kid might be similar to the father or the mother and vice versa. And in this case, I would say Summer and Donald were quite similar in their who they were and the type of people they were. And I can see on this day it would have impacted both of them directly. There was definitely an aggressive situation. Donald wanted to take care of the situation, which he did, and the deception then started around this. Now, if you look at this image of Candace and Donald sitting there, have been interviewed by Dr. Phil. I mean, to me, that picture tells 1,000 words. You know, I would probably think that Donald was sitting on the edge of his seat thinking, what happens if this woman reveals everything on air? I mean, if you look at Candace, she is completely distraught. Look, let's just say, obviously, every parent has the best intentions when they believe they're going to have a kid and raise the kid. But you know, when there's abuse and violence in a family or a home, and the female, which is obviously a common theme, the female is dominated by the male, and we have the situation in Donald and Candace. Now, Donald could have easily have threatened Candace on the day, or this is the situation, or says that this was an accident, but I believe that Summer would have died on that day, the 15th of June 2021. It was a very violent day, very aggressive day, and then a lot of deception after that. I've looked at the days leading up to this day, and as well as the days looking after this day. And I have a feeling, and I kept on getting this impression, that there would have been a similar situation leading up to this particular day, and I would say that would have happened on the 6th of June 2021. There could have been a very similar situation where Donald's patience was being tested. Summer was raging because the impact of that day is very impactful on her day, you know, who she is. There was a lot of violence, aggression on the adult side. On her side, she's just thinking, I'm having fun. I'm doing what I want to do. I'm full of energy. I'm loud. I'm boisterous. I'm doing what I want to do. Peeing off the parents. So that day, the 6th of June 2021, there would have been some kind of situation, I believe, where it was almost like a crack in the foundation. And then if we fast forward to the 15th of June, that was it. Those 2 days, the 6th of June and the 15th of June. But I think the 15th of June, that impacted Donald more, and Donald lost his cool. There's big lies, big incidents, and it creates a very negative energy around these situations, you know. And obviously, as a medium, I've been trying to connect to see if Summer is in the spirit world. And I believe I received a message from Summer saying, I was so scared. I was so scared. You know, she was a bouncing energy. She was full of life. She was the Duracell bunny times 10. And I think this might have just irritated Donald on the wrong day at the wrong time, and he just went into a full rage. Now, I know we're dealing with minors here, so I've got to be very sensitive about this. I get a feeling, and I'm just replaying that image where I see Donald storming, trying to get hold of Summer, that if he could, once he had dealt with her, let's say, he would have just easily thrown her into the bushes or trees around the property and just discarded her. He could have easily, that's his mentality, he would have just like thrown her out like a dead roadside animal. Do you know what I mean? He would have just thrown it in the woods, leave it there. It didn't even impact him or bother him. And I feel that's what's happened here. Yeah, I would definitely say this was a conflict between Summer and her father. And on that day, the 15th of June, a highly aggressive day. Rage, rage, rage. Control, control, control. Violent, violent, violent. And I'm telling you now, those adults on the property on this day know exactly what happened. It would have been, how can I say? The noise and the fight and the screaming would have been audible for a fair distance away from that house. And it's very convenient that she was planting flowers. Candace knows exactly what happened. How would Donald have approached Candace about this situation? Would he have threatened her with her own life, or threatened her mother, or threatened the other kids? It almost feels like, it feels like what's done is done. Everyone carry on with your life. Your sister's gone. What's done is done. If you do the same will happen to you. You know, it's that kind of very abusive, controlling situation. And you know, Candace has to live with this for the rest of her life. Her mother has to live with this for the rest of their life. If they are aware of it, and if they were aware of the situation, in other words, hearing the noise, the screaming, the crying, then the no noise, they would be accomplices. And that's the threat against them as well. You know, there's nothing better than a kid with full of energy, life, confidence. That's how you want your kids to grow up, to be confident, obviously have good manners and that kind of thing, but you want them to be out there, vocal, standing up for themselves, speaking out. You know, and some parents treat kids and their female partners like crap. And will we find this evidence, and when will this evidence be exposed or revealed? I wonder if Summer is on that property or close by. But I also have a feeling that they really did a serious effort to get rid of the remains or dispose of the remains. Like if you burn the body, these cases are never nice. Yeah, there's very big deception around this case. Big deception around this case. I think Donald, and I'm seeing that image of a fire again. It's terrible, man. He would have tried to, get rid of the body as much as possible, break it down as much as possible, and what remained were discarded. I think there's going to be very little remains of her. Gosh, I just had this overwhelming feeling. Oh God, I don't think we're going to find Summer, hey? Even biological evidence, I don't think we're ever going to find it. He took a serious job on making sure that this evidence that she will never be found. This was a despicable act. Thank you for watching. Please leave your comments and suggestions below. I would love to hear from you, and I will see you the next one. Stay safe and stay alert.